really hate this shit, man. I swear to I do. Okay, I'm gonna have to add stream info again. Do that. Go here. Next stream on my phone, so look at the sound and everything. Okay, so alright, so I'm trying like to compose myself because I'm a little bit annoyed. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get started, so hey yo, my fellow remote maniacs. It's Mr. Romo Rose. It's Mr. Romo Roses here, and welcome back to another installment of FreeDooM 2 with the Borg Demake mod as part of my little thing I'm kind of referring to as Weapons Mod Wednesday. So this is attempt number 2 of me trying to stream and everything. So this here is basically like attempt number 2 of me trying to stream this and everything. Because I literally, as I'm, checking stuff around and everything like that, I saw that my stream on my little, what do you call it, mobile live dashboard, I saw my stream was buffering. So, so I was like, trying to figure out, what was going on, and then I go to my channel itself via, mobile, and then I see that my stream would just go, it just cuts off for whatever fucking reason. So I'm trying this again, and seeing, and so I'm trying this again and seeing if I can somehow maybe do a stream of this because I would love because I would love to be able to play this and actually have some progress done on and everything like that. But for whatever reason, Twitch is being a bitch, literally, and killing off my stream. I don't know why. Because, again, I did not, because again, it was not on my end, it was on Twitch's end. Because, everything you guys see before you and everything like that, is working just fine. I had, no internet issues or anything like that, so obviously Twitch is wanting to be a bitch and wants to make it to where I can't be able to really stream. So, we're going to attempt this a second time and hope for the best. And we're going to go here and start from the beginning where I left off. Wow. Alright. Let's quick save here. Ow. case you guys are wondering, you know, what this whole thing is about. um, Basically, in a nutshell, this is a little thing. So basically, this is a little thing that I'm doing on my Wednesday stream that I like to do from time. I like to do every now and then. Called Weapons Mod Wednesday, where I stream some classic Doom related stuff, and I play like a little gameplay mod. And like I like most of the time I feel like I'm kind of like revisiting like classic Doom, like Doom 1 or Doom 2, and I'm using some kind of, I'm like using some kind of like gameplay mod that changes things up a little bit to you know, to some degree. Whether it be like, you know, having like weapons, whether it be like, you know, weapons that do a little bit more, that you know, have a little more oomph to them instead of being like, you know, just like random little reskins or something. To possibly having like, you know, like enemies and like new weapons and enemies and stuff to deal with. So yeah. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of like pausing as much, you know, because I'm kind of like set. I guess you say that's kind of like the little like paranoia is kicking in. But yeah, the thing I'm doing today is I'm playing a game. I'm playing with a gameplay mod called War Remake, which is made by Alpha and 2, and the map pack that I'm using is Freedom Phase 2. Now, Freedom Phase 2 is kind of infamous, I guess you could say. Because Freedom 2 is... Ah! Hold on. I almost made me lose my train of thought because like I thought I was safe, and all of a sudden I'm getting turned to Swiss cheese from behind. But anyway, so Freedom Phase 2 is a map pack. Well, it's technically a game. It's technically a game in and of itself. There's Freedom Phase 1 and Freedom Phase 2. So Freedom Phase 1 is basically what some could refer to as like Ultimate Freedom. It has like, you know, 4 episodes. It's like a 4-episode type thing. 9 levels within each. And you know, like I said, it plays out like, you know, like Doom 1. But when it comes to the case of FreeDooM stuff, from what I can tell, it's like everything's original. Like, you know, everything's original. Nothing's been taken from like as far as like graphics, music, sounds, and all that jazz from like, you know, the original, from like, you know, the software games themselves. But yeah, like I say, like everything's, you know, original. You know, like, you know, from sounds, music, texture, story. And another thing too about this is that Freedom 2, Freedom in general, like, what am I trying to say? The Freedom stuff is pretty much their own little game. You know, like you know, like Freedom Phase 1 and 2 is their own little game. So they don't need like, you know, like the Doom 1 or Doom 2. So like, you know, they don't need like the Doom 1 or Doom 2 iWads to be powered up. Hey Eden, I don't know if you were here for when my stream first crashed, but yeah, it's good to see you again though. Hope you're doing well. Nice, nice. Ew. Just think I'm having to like fucking relearn all of this, all these levels again. But yeah, just in case you got, but yeah, just in case you weren't if you weren't here, this is my second stream attempt of trying to play some FreeDooM Phase 2, because for whatever reason, Twitch once again decided to fuck up my stream. Because it was not on my, because I know for damn sure it was not on my end. Because everything that you see before you was playing out just fine. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, Twitch, like I say, you know, like basically, like, it is what it is. You know, Twitch wants to be an absolute piece of shit. But anyway, I don't know if you're like working or anything like that, but if you are, I hope that, you know, work's treating you well, my friend. You know, hopefully you're not getting like overloaded to death or anything of that crazy nature. Bum 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 bum. Alright. But I'm kind of like, you know, just, I'm kind of like on the, I'm kind of like on the panic edge per se, you know, like the slight little like, you know, kind of like the worry stick, because, you know, like I say, you know, I don't want to have to, you know, deal with the whole situation of like, you know, my stream ending and I don't know about it until it's too late. So now that's why I'm doing the thing where it's like, oh, I have my, where it's like, oh, I have my stream up on my phone via the mobile live dashboard and shit. But anyway, what was I gonna... Yeah, I guess I kind of like go back to talking about FreeDooM a little bit. Yeah, so FreeDooM is going to be like a fan-made Doom game that was made by people within the community. Like I said, and like I said before, like it has its own, it has like, you know, they have their own dedicated iWads, and everything. You don't need Doom to run them, and stuff. And FreeDooM Phase One is pretty much like someone could refer to as like Ultimate FreeDooM, where it has like 4 episodes with 9 levels with each of them. FreeDooM Phase Two is basically FreeDooM Phase Two is basically FreeDooM Two, where it's like it has like 32 levels and everything. The Blorg Demake mod is basically like a full demake version that runs on like classic that can run on like classic source ports, if you will. Like having the ability to like play like a little game like this, but without like but to play like a little gameplay mod like this without like the quote unquote like the fancier things. And yeah, this is one of my favorite. And I say like, yeah, this is one of my favorite little gameplay mods to play around with, and everything. Especially the fact that you can have something that can be a better replacement for the pistol, which is what you see before you. Oh, nice. I got a mega sphere. And yeah, and yeah, originally like Blorg was apparently made to be a thing where it's gonna be like a FreeDooM. I guess it was gonna be originally like a FreeDooM mod, but the creators decided to kind of go a little bit beyond that. So now so now you can be able to play. So now like in this case, you can be able to play Doom 2 campaign. You can play the FreeDooM 2 campaign, or you can play a custom campaign that was made for this, which I don't know how many levels there are in that. Hold on. Okay, that's much better. Alright. Give me just one sec, folks. I just want to, like I said, like I usually try, to like focus on the game and have some fun and all that, but it's just sometimes, like I said, when you least fucking expect it, it's like something can happen and you don't know about it until maybe like it's too late or something at most. fighting going. I love it. Man, I do wish like I remembered where the fuck I stopped at last time when I last did this. You know, like I said, like I said, I played a little bit of this at some point in time, like on stream, and then whenever Twitch decided to kill off my stream and not me not knowing it until it was too late per se. Now, another thing I will technically say and everything is that, um, I have never really played FreeDooM 2 that much. It was one of those situations where it's like I knew of the game, I've had the game technically for a while, but mainly on PC, but I never really did anything with it because it's like, oh, I'm maybe going to be just like trying like maybe save like a stream playthrough or something like that. But then then when the Kex port, aka Doom plus Doom 2 came out, and people were uploading like mods and this that and the other. Some people are actually managing to upload like the FreeDooM games. Another thing I said that I did kind of like was that some people have uploaded Chex Quests. Like people have actually managed to upload Chex Quests and they played out pretty nicely. Like they played out pretty nicely. But like it still leaves the question of could Chex Quest be played in co-op? It's like could Chex Quest be played in like a co-op manner? Because the one thing I would say that I would love to be able to do is I would love to get together with Onyx and play some Doom, play some classic Doom related stuff. Like there are some things that I would love for us to be able to play together in some sort of way. I'm not even trying to like the fire my weapon. Land rhythm meters. Because yeah, like the one thing the one thing I definitely would like for us to be able to do is like I would love for us to be able to play like the classic Doom, whether it be like like Ultimate Doom, Doom 2, maybe like the Final Doom stuff or whatever. But there are some technically mods that I like for us to be able to play together. Now from what I can remember, He does have, like, he does have this. It's just kind of, like, he does have the Doom plus Doom 2 port, and everything, but it's just kind of, but it's kind of like a matter of, trying to get him to actually, you know, I guess you could say it's kind of like trying to get him out of that slump or whatever, be like, hey, let's play some Doom, and stuff like that. Owie. Because I say like some of the things. Sorry. Because I would say like some of the things that I would love for us to be able to play together is like, I would love for us, but I would love to be able to play like the Doom 64 for Doom 2 mod with him, because that's pretty much going to be like the closest way that we can be able to play Doom 64 and some sort of. Because basically with Doom 64 for Doom 2, like that's literally like the main and the only one. The only main way that we can be able to play Doom 64 in some sort of aspect of things. Now there is that the whole curious side of like could we be able to somehow play like some Chex Quest together? Because I do have like the Chex Quest 3 thing. I think I also have like the first two games as like their own little like standalone bits. Now, if by some unfortunate little thing where it's like we can't be able to play some Chex Quest together, that's it'd be like a little bummer, but it wouldn't be like it'd be like a little bit of a bummer, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a big deal. It would have been just like it would have just been like like a nice little addition, if you will. Just having like a nice little addition of something for us to be able to play together and everything like that. And I do know that there's also like some mods like the Maps of Chaos mods and stuff like that, where it's like like it takes like the original Doom and Doom 2 levels and expands upon them, to like have more places to explore, more enemies to kill, everything like that. So that could be fun, But like I said, it's kind of like a slow and steady process. Yeah, it's like a little it's like a little slow and steady process, of like trying to get trying like to it's kind of like to build them up, I guess. I'd say like on the one hand, and I'd say like on the one hand, it's like, you know, I don't want to like, you know, I don't want to like, you know, like force it down, like, you know, like to force it down the throat where it's like, hey, you know, it's like, hey, let's, you know, let's play this, you know, like the, you know, to bug him non-stop to the point where it's like, you know, he may not want to actually, you know, play it or anything like that. Like, I don't want to do that. You know, like I don't want to like, you know, to, you know, try like force them on, you know, to the point where where he's going to get like, you know, so pissed off that he might not want to play not only that, but you know, maybe he may not want to like, you know, play with me ever again or whatever, you know. But but I kind of would say like at the same time though, it's like, you know, it's like I said, it's like a slippery slope, you know. It's like you never know. You never quite know what's gonna happen, you know, and all that. So, you know, because the one thing I always would say is like, you know, he likes always saying the word maybe. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh hey, you know, why don't we, you know, try and play some Duke Nukem 3D together? Maybe. You know, hey, you know, why don't we try, you know, to like, you know, maybe like do this on Elden Ring or Bloodborne, maybe. You know, stuff like that. I did make the fire. But I don't know. You know, it's just one of those situations where it's like, you know, you have, it's like you have to, you feel like you have to like kind of, you know, like poke the bear a little bit, but you know, at the same time, you know, like try and, you know, I guess like at the same time, though, it's like, you know, like try and not, you know, do it too hard, like too harshly or too roughly or whatever. I am trying to remember what we'll do here. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, yeah, like I don't know. You know, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's just kind of it's you know, it's kind of like one of those moments, like, you know, it's kind of like just one of those like wait and see moments, you know. But I would say like in a way, you know, it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, it's kind of like on my little, I guess on my little random bucket list, you know, type of thing where it's like, you know, I would love to be able to, I mean, because like I said, as much as I would like to be able to, you know, like, you know, maybe play, you know, like some Duke 3D with him and all that stuff, but, you know, it's like, I know it's not going to be the case, but like, at least with Doom, you know, maybe there's like that, you know, like that higher, like that slight higher chance. You know, it's like, you know, maybe like there's like that slight little, that little slight higher chance of him, you know, being able to actually, you know, you know, to go through with it. I will say that there's kind of like some other little things that are on my little quote-unquote bucket list, but like I'm not gonna. But it's like one of those situations where, excuse me. But it's one of those little situations where it's like I doubt where it's like I doubt that it'll ever happen. You know, where it's like where it's like it's like a slim to almost like a slim to none type chance. But yeah, like some of the little like honorable mentions for like what would be on my little like random bucket list of things I would like to be able to do at most is I would love to be able to have like a personal collab with the Inverted Shadow, where it's like me and him actually play something together, and we're in some kind of call at most, because I feel like probably like the one thing I would love for for like me and the Inverted Shadow to do is maybe like play some Bloodborne or Elden Ring at most. Um, you know, I would love to be able to to do that. And I do remember like the times where it's like I have technically brought up like Bloodborne for like a stream idea playthrough, because even though it was like ages ago, but once upon a random time, um, I I think it was like back then before before like pay went from like being I think it was like back then when like pay, but like way before pay changed Grove to the archive, and everything. But like I managed to get like I remember like I was pretty much able to get like a little like call with not only pay but also Inverted Shadow himself. And like we were kind of like just talking about here and there. And I think I was actually on my, if I remember correctly, I think I was on I was using my phone. I had like my headset plugged in and all that jazz. That way, like I had, like the sounds of like that blast through like the room, and having people come in and all that jazz. But yeah, like it's kind of like we're on a little like call, Discord call thing together in the Grove at the time, and I technically remember like mentioning the whole situation with Bloodborne. And I said like, oh hey, I was like, hey Shadow, I got like this little idea that you could be able to do where it's like or it's like maybe like Unbreakable could try and play some Bloodborne and everything. And I remember saying like, and I remember saying like, because I do know that Shadow has a PlayStation, because like plays I think it's like PlayStation 5, you know. And because of how Bloodborne's on PlayStation and and all that jazz, that would be like the one game I know for sure that I could be able to play with him, play with him, alongside like maybe Elden Ring if he somehow had it, but I don't know if he does. I kind of doubt that he does, but you know, a man can dream, as one could say. But like I said, like another little thing on my bucket list, type thing, is I would love to be able to do like a special. It's like I would love to do like a special little collaboration with the Inverted Channel himself. The second little thing that I would like to do is the second little thing I would like to be able to do is I would like to somehow do like a personal little collaboration with Pei. Um, I would like to be able, to like have some sort of like special little collaboration with her, where it's like we're playing something together and stuff at most. And I'd say the one thing that I really would love for us to be able to do together in some sort of way is I would love for us to be able to play the Five Nights at Pinky's game mode on Gary's mod, because cause man, like we were so we were so fucking close to having it done. Like it was I shit you not, it was nearly about to be a thing, but and I'm not trying to like to say, and I'm not trying to say like I hate pay for not going through this, but like it's kind of like it's kind of like just got to me just a little bit about like how she didn't want to like do the whole like thing with the in-game voice chat in Gary's mod. Because and like on the one hand, it's like I was like, okay, I can understand, not everyone wants to, do that, but like at the same time, though, it's like as much as I would love, love to fucking, as much as I would love to, to like fucking, use, um, as much as I would love to be able to have used, Discord, via desktop app, and all that just jazz, being able to like, have, being like, in a voice call and shit like that, like, unfortunately, my computer could not really handle it. So, and like, it's still to this day, like, I think my lucky little stars, like, I think my lucky little stars that, I have a phone that, excuse me, that, I think, I still to this day, will thank my lucky stars that I have a phone that I can be able to use, and everything like that, and I can, I can, have Discord mobile, I can have, I can have Discord on it, and I can, get on a voice call with little to no real issues. Now, the only sacrifice per se is that the only little sacrifice per se that would have to be a thing is that I would probably have to, at most, have like my phone stuff connected to my headset connected to my phone stuff instead of like having it connected to like maybe my normal stuff. But I would say like in a nutshell, like if we were able to play the Five Nights at Pinky's mode in a certain little way, then it's like there's no real problem because it's more like a visual type of thing. For me at least, and all that. Okay, where the fuck is the red key? I still hate the fact that like it still kind of like irks me in a way where it's like I beat this at one point, like I beat this like some other levels and stuff like that, and like and like the next thing I know, like something happens that like something happens that's beyond my control, and then all of a sudden it's like, ew. Station Earth. Okay. So we got through that level. Alright, so we got through that level, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new save, just in case, because usually what I do is like, if I'm on like, if I go past like the first level or something, that I do what's known as like a hard save, where it's like, I save at the beginning of the level and everything like that, and then go from there. Cause yeah, basically what happens. Cause yeah, basically this is what I do. Okay, so if I'm on the first level of something, then chances are like I will probably do like I'll probably do like a little quick save. You know, like if I'm on like a first level of something, I'll quick save, you know, at times, and then you know go from there. But anything past that, you know, like I do a hard save where it's like you know I start from like I save at the beginning of a level, you know, and in case if something happens or you know whatever, then you know I have that. Um, and then like after that, you know, and then like you know when I'm on like you know the next level and beyond, then I'll do like hearts or like little quick saves in certain moments, and then like you know go from there. Now, if I don't finish something per se, you know, like in one stream setting, then what I will do is like you know for like a part two or whatever, what I'll do is like you know I'll make like a new I'll like you know I'll kind of like you know continue the thing and maybe like have like a quick save here and there, and then if I can get past the level that I last stopped at and go on to the next level, then I make like a new hard save file, you know, that's completely its own little thing, and not get rid of not get rid of like you know the old save file. But like you know, let's say in this case, you know, if I was to you know get through, you know, make some progress and everything and all that, then I can be able to technically get rid of this, or you know override this with something that's you know new and beyond. Okay, game, come on. I have to take out the snipers, you know, above me. Alright. Okay. I believe I got all the imp snipers, you know, out of this little area. I know that I do know that there's an arachnotron, so giddy giddy, I guess. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, like I would love to be able to personally, like you know, play, you know, do like some special little collaborations and stuff. Like I said, with Onyx, I would love to be able to, you know, for us to play some classic Doom stuff together. You know, especially maybe like a few mods, you know, to kind of to maybe kind of like you know break him out of that, you know, like that non-mod playing cycle, if you will. Um, Like I would love to be able to play, some personal. I would love to personally, like, play some games within Varied Shadow. Like maybe like, like say, play like Bloodborne or Elden Ring at most. I kind of think it's probably gonna be Bloodborne, but I know with like, Elden Ring, you can have like like the. I guess you say like a bit more like a freedom control, if you will. You will like, kind of like shaking things up a little bit here and there, and all that just jazz. But yeah, like a nice little Soulsborne game with, with Bird Shadow. And like I said, with Pay, Pay, like I personally would love, to, I personally would like, to love, I personally would love, to be able to, do the Finance and Pinkies, Gary's Mod game mode with her, like we were supposed to do way back when. Now again, like I'm not holding anything against Pay, of her, like doing at that, like, the last second thing of like, at that, when it happened, it's I'm not holding anything against Pay, of her, like backtrack, kind of like backtracking and, and refusing to, like, changing her mind and all that stuff about, doing the collab because because I don't know if she knows this or remembers this, but like, there's a lot of stuff that there's like literally a whole lot of shit that I did, to prep for that, that special collaboration because the idea, okay, the idea was that, it was gonna be on my channel, it was gonna be, streamed on my channel, but Pay was going to be the one that would be, kind of like doing it for her end, because we'll be doing like, the streaming stuff, the streaming POV stuff from her end. Okay, like that's what it was gonna be. It's like, it was gonna be, it was gonna be, like, the channel was gonna be on my channel. The POV stream thing is gonna be from hers, and I did a little thing at one point in time where it's like I made Pay's mods as mods for my channel at the time, because because the one thing about Pay's, the people that, who mods Pay, is that they're usually on point with things, like, they're usually out, they're usually around, to take care of things and all that stuff, and, and they're definitely good people, that, you would love to have, as a mod. Now, would I be able to somehow get, like, like Tiny Game Mod, or, you know, Amy, slash Broken Screen Disney, to mod for me? I doubt it. Like, I doubt that they're gonna, I highly doubt that they're gonna mod Lilith me. But, like, I would welcome, but, like, I would, in fact, welcome the chance if, like, hey, if like, hey, if you're up for it and everything, then, then, like, let's do it, But, like I said, I doubt that they're gonna mod, that they want to mod Lilith me. No, like I said, like I said, I don't mind, if they don't want to mod for little old me, but, I will, I still will, welcome them with open arms, whether they, want to somehow, you know, be a mod for little old me, or if they just want, you know, just to be a viewer, you know, just be a little viewer, maybe, like say hi, like, say hi, or whatever, you know, it's up to them, you know, like, I have no issues with that. And and the one thing I will say too, involving pay, is that I will always have her as a VIP for my channel. You know, like if you know, I will always, she will always be like a special VIP to my little channel because, you know, whether she wants to, you know, play it off or not like that, you know, she, like, you know, like and you know, I highly doubt that Pay's ever gonna see this, but if she somehow does, you know, but like, you know, she did quite a lot for me. You know, whether she wants to admit it, you know, it was not much or, you know, whatever, but, you know, she was someone who helped me when I was trying to do like my little path to affiliate, you know, to do like, you know, the affiliate goal thing where it's like I had to have like, where I had to have like, you know, like X amount of viewers every time, you know, that I streamed. And, you know, like I remember, and you know, like I remember the time where it's like, you know, I would to be like, hey, like I'm, you know, like I'd be like, hey, I'm about to stream, I'm about to go live, you know, if you want to, you know, do a little work thing, whatever. You know, and a good portion of the time, you know, she did. You know, like you know, she would be like, okay, you know, like I was like, I will have you up on lurk, you know, and all that stuff. And you know, and you know, it meant a lot. Okay, let's try it again because that was really the best weapon, right? Might have been a little overkill, but hey, hashtag self care with explosives. But yeah, like you know, like I said, I do appreciate, you know, that everything. You know, I do appreciate, you know, you know, the times and everything like that with you know, paying for little old me and everything. Yeah, like, you know, I really do. Like, I really appreciate, you know, all the support that, you know, she's given little old me, and even as some as simple as when, you know, even for the simple littlest things of, like, you know, when she came to my Bloodborne stream a little bit whenever I was making her in the game, to even, like, you know, helping out with a little thumbnail for, like, not only, you know, the Bloodborne run, but for her Elden Ring run as well. You know, and like I said, you know, like I said, like, I really appreciate all the stuff that, you know, that she had done for little old me, and you know, you know, she'll always and forever be a VIP to my channel. You know, even if you know she may not, even if you know she may not be, you know, even if she, you know, she doesn't follow me on, you know, on here on Twitch, you know, even if she doesn't follow me here on Twitch or, you know, stop by my streams and everything like that, you know, like I said, it's fine. Like I have nothing against that or anything like that, you know, but And like I said, that's just how things are. You know, like she'll always have that VIP badge. You know, and I'm never taking I'm not gonna be taking it off anytime soon, if at all. Because because I don't. There's no reason for me to pay. Cause I guess you say it's like like pay hasn't given me a reason to take it off. Because like I said, like why would that be the case? Wow, let's go down here. I don't know why, but like it's like this controller that I have, even though like it's wired, like a wired controller and everything like that, but it's like it feels like it has like the phantom touch or whatever. It's like where it's like you barely touch it or whatever, and it's like it just does something that you didn't mean to do. Like that, like I did not mean to fucking do that. Interesting little setup there for the keys. It's like, which one do you want more? Do you want the red one or do you want the yellow one? Up and teleported. Oh, I hear an arts vial. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Fucking arts vial, resurrect, trying to resurrect shit. There it is. Ow. Oh my god, dude. Oh, gotta hurry, gotta hurry, gotta hurry. Now I will say though, like I am happy to see Pei, uh, getting back into the streaming side of things. And even though like even though like she removes me and a handful of other people from our Discord, for instance, which I mean like I didn't quite understand it at first, but but then I was like I kind of get it, and I uh, and this maybe I don't know if it's gonna count as like a funny story or whatever, but um I went to her little like merch shop thing or whatever, and I saw like a little free post thing that she made where it's like you didn't have to where you didn't have to sign up or pay whatever. And I remember and I kind of remember like somewhere in the part where she was talking about like how I guess where she was kind of like doing certain things whatever, and then she got something about like someone messaged her and then everything like that, and she was, and I think like somewhere along the lines, it was, and somewhere, so I think it was like somewhere along the lines, it was like success. I never heard back from them again, and all that. And part of me wanted to really like say something, but I was like, well, I was like, okay, I get it. It's like you're trying to you're trying like to focus, like trying like you're trying like to focus on things, to get stuff, get ready for like, your re-debut and stuff like that. Like I get it, you know. But at least but at least we are friends on Steam at most. So, you know, but like the one, but like, but I say about like the one thing that I do hope, and I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty sure it just may sound like I'm blowing it out of proportion or whatever, but like the one thing I would say that I do hope for is like pay doesn't it's just, I guess you could say it's like the thing I just hope for is that like pay doesn't think less of me or or think very little of me or whatever. Like I just hope that that I don't have those kind of things where yay. Like I said, I just hoping, just hope and pray that like pay, doesn't have like those kind of thought process going through that kind of thought process going through her head. Ow! I fucking hate the homing missiles. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, like I like that's just kind of like the one thing I just hope for, like I just hope the like pay doesn't like doesn't like doesn't it's like it's pretty much like just like I hope that pay doesn't forget about me or think little of me or think less of me or whatever. Even if we might not be even if we might not be able to like talk much and stuff. Why is there a Squidle Mama here? The fact that there was a fucking spider mastermind in this little area. But yeah, other than that though, like I am happy, for for pay, success, and everything like that. And I hope that, and I wish her nothing but the best. And whatever that she plans to do and whatnot. So and every, and I will still do the thing where it's like if if I'm doing my little stream and that and I see that that she's and like I see that she's active, she's on live and everything like that, But yeah, I said we're doing the thing where it's like, jeez. Okay, hold on. Nuclear zone. But yeah, like I was still doing my best to support pay and everything like that, and if I do the thing where it's like I'm streaming and I'm about to end and I see her live that she's gone live and all that, then and of course like I'm going right into her, just like how I do with Inverted Shadow, where it's like like I see he's streaming because I would say like unlike because I would say like unlike cause I would say like unlike Pay or even Onyx for that matter, like when it comes to like Inverted Shadow whenever he streams, it's random. Like it's pretty random as far as like when he might actually stream. Not saying it's a bad thing, because it's not. It's just one of those little situations where it's like you don't know until you don't know until like you possibly get like some sort of notification or something. Anyway, so I'm trying to think, but like I don't think I think I've not reached nuclear zone the last time I tried playing it was like the last time I tried playing this. But thankfully Twitch has behaved itself. So I think what I'm going to do actually is I think I'm actually going to go ahead and end it here because I know that I'm going to have to unfortunately go delete the first the first stream attempt of this and everything and go from there. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream nonetheless. And again, sorry for sorry for the stream cutting off like it did. Don't blame me, blame Twitch because they're at fault, not me. And hopefully you guys enjoyed my little like rant and my little like ramblings and stuff like that. Sometimes cause sometimes I will say like depending on like the situation at hand, like I may talk quite a bit or I might not say much at all. It kind of just depends on the. I guess you're saying kind of like kind of like depends on the thing at the subject at hand and and stuff like that. So, ooh, my word. What what is this game? I look at like I'm looking on the like the light on like the Twitter on like the feed thing or whatever, and I just see like this VTuber like this, and I've seen this VTuber and they're playing some sort of like it's like some sort of like they're playing some sort of game, and I see it and I'm seeing like some I'm seeing like they're playing this game and it's like and there's like this woman like there's this woman who's dressed like a cheerleader and my god their bazongas are huge like their boobs are huge and like it's like it almost like it barely like it almost feels like it barely covers anything. It's crazy. just check this stream real quick, because I might try to, like, do a little thing where it's like, if I see someone who hasn't been streaming for that long, then, I might try and, like, raid into them that way. Alright, they haven't been live for that long, so we might see if we can raid into them. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream and everything, and hopefully you guys enjoyed my little, like, ramblings and stuff that I went on about. I'm just having to play the waiting game as far as you know being able to type in my own chat box. But while I do the waiting game and everything like that, I guess I can go and kind of like talk about some ideas for upcoming streams that I got in mind. So because this is my 2 day slow week of streaming, my next planned stream, if everything goes well, will hopefully be tomorrow, aka Thursday, and I'm going to be playing some more Elden Ring Night Rain. I'm going to be continuing my Faith Onion Raider run, where I play through the majority of the main game and everything like that, as the Onion Raider, and see what happens there. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be trying to do more of that. And I'd say, like, for the most part, like, I'm still gonna go with the little, like, the little ruling, if you will, where it's like I don't really plan on where it's like I don't really plan on trying to play, like, do the DLC bosses and everything like that with the build, but but it will be, like, the base game, like base game bosses, so yeah. But anyway, if you're enjoying what you saw today, though, and you're watching this on Twitch, feel free to give the channel a follow and become a Rumble Maniac today. If you want to follow me anywhere else online, you can check out my YouTube channel, give it a sub, know as usual good stuff. And feel free to follow me on Twitter or even, Blue Sky if you want. But, until I see you all in the next video or live stream, as always, take care everybody, and I hope you all have a good week or weekend.